Okay, greetings everyone. This is First Centurion 753 with the next episode of Hearts of Iron 4, playing the Great War mod, and we are playing a series. What would Otto von Bismarck do if he were still Chancellor in I guess we're in 1911 now. So I'm gonna go ahead and click this and get things rolling. Oh, actually, no, I have to change that. Sorry. I do have new technology I have to research here. We have to stick to 1910 technology. Let's see here. I said I was going to... No, you know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and get some more offensive doctrine here, especially because you have max entrenchment increased by plus 20 and entrenchment speed 50%. So that should help us entrench our borders. It's going to take 285 days. Now we'll press play and I'll go ahead and explain the rest of my thinking behind that. I've got a nice little vest pocket camera here, which helps with reconnaissance, as well as we're going to go, what else was I looking at? This one is engineer drawing. They're both pretty short in time period, but they're not really significant as far as impacting my forces right at the moment. I think I mentioned in some of my other previous videos that I've been doing a playthrough with this particular scenario. And I'm actually in I think we're approaching 1918 in that scenario, and I've done really well. I actually held out till about 1917. I think it was December's 1917, where you have the Decembrist revolts, and the Soviet Union does sort of happen on its own. I don't know if there's any way you can actually prevent it playing as Russia in this game, but I was doing really well. I conquered St. Petersburg, and the Austrians had moved in and taken the Crimean Peninsula, and we're moving into the Caucasus region, and we had a little bit of a gap here, but I wasn't sure if the revolution was actually going to happen, if I had to incite the revolution, and the revolution definitely happened as a result. And I could probably be better if I just showed you that video, but Finland became a nation. There was a Grand United Duchy of, I think, there was Lithuania, but then there's a Grand United Duchy of like the Baltic states or something like that, and the Ukraine also comes in. And we ended up with a non-aggression pact, and the Soviets begin supplying us with Lend-Lease. So it actually turned out pretty well. And if I can just hold out until December of 1917, that really should be the goal. But I still want to go ahead, and one of the things I did is I sort of overextended myself. But I still want to go ahead and grab this bulge right here, and it seems really easy to envelop. And that'll definitely ensnare at least 20, maybe 30 divisions. And that'll be a huge benefit. The other thing that I did not do, one thing that I did not do in the other series, was I did not put any troops along this front. Of course, once the war with Russia breaks out, all the Austrians move their troops that way. So I had a fallback line here, but I think it might be a good idea for me to actually put troops along these fronts, especially since in this game, it looks like Italy is not moving towards the Triple Alliance. Looks like they're moving towards the Entente. Secret deal of France right there. Yeah, that gives it away. Anti-Austrian-Hungarian pact. I'm sure that's coming along. Italian claims. This route that they've chosen is the modern, accurately historical route. But if you look here at this region of Venetia, if I said that right, the region around Venice. It looks like they're actually... I didn't realize this was such a good position. The Austrians control the Alps here, and you only need 2 provinces to cut off a good chunk of troops up here in the north and capture the port, and you can do it right along without even crossing a river. So there's really no natural barrier between the Austrian front and Venice. So I'm going to end up putting at least an army around here, and plan an attack that way, because the Italians seem to be... They caused me a lot of problems, actually, in the other one. They actually invaded the Ottoman Empire and actually took over the Ottoman Empire. I was able to, once the Russians got out, I was able to open up a eastern front against the Italian-occupied Ottoman Empire, and then when I finally had Bulgaria join, we made a big rush and took Constantinople, because I had an extra army in the Balkans that wasn't along the Balkan front that had developed. And that one, I'm actually like restoring the Ottoman Empire in this game, even though I didn't really do that in the geopolitical simulator game. Sorry if I gave that away. I don't know when I'm posting different videos here. I'm recording them sort of all the same weekend. All right, so we have radio finished here. Let's take a look at radio. All right, so this is where I was going to do engineering drawing. You know what? I'm going to actually kind of let's take a look at this because I do want to. There's not a lot of technologies for me to develop right away. I mean, I probably could go down like a naval route and focus on the Navy, but Bismarck wasn't really pro-Navy. He was much more focused on the Army. Of course, he didn't really have a stance on, as far as I know, he had no stance on Air Force or even knowledge. I forgot when he died exactly, but the Air Force wasn't even a thing for him. So I could assume that he may have been in favor of developing Air Force, but he was much more in favor of developing the German-Prussian Army instead of the German-Prussian Navy, especially at the beginning. Later on, he would value the colonies a little bit more, but early on, the focus was much more on the Army. So we're going to go with Vest Pocket Camera right now, 128 days. That'll give me some time, at least to develop more political power, because I want to appoint other people to my government here that would help me. Artillery. Alright, this would be a good guy, or a good company here. Material design here. I should probably do that. Yeah. Maybe I will do that. I was thinking about maybe switching them in the game. Infantry design is better. But I have to remember to switch them around 1914. If I went with this right away and then switched in 1914, it cost me 150 extra political points, but in the game that I'm playing, I have like 1,800 political points, so there is a surplus of political points when you play as the Germans. So we've got our technology, which is good. I should have a new division, right? Divisions, let's see, this division's coming on September 1st, September 4th, June 27th, 5 days, and here we've got a cavalry division on September 6th. I think I had close to 200 divisions. I didn't get 200 divisions. I think I had like about 190 divisions was enough to hold off the Russians. But I want more, because I do want to have a line here. So I currently have 134 divisions, with 4 more divisions coming in, 130. I want some more divisions, and I wouldn't mind putting one of these. I haven't fully modified my divisions either, because in the game that I was playing, I had much stronger divisions, I think, with a whole nother line, maybe even horizontal and vertical line, strengthening these divisions. But we haven't got there yet because we're still developing artillery surpluses. Don't have a ton of infantry surplus, but what I did do is I opened up another line of infantry. I only kept one line of infantry early on because I knew I had to upgrade all these weapons, but I feel like that may have held me back on my divisions. So, because I had a huge population, but hurting as far as numbers of divisions and equipment. So I think I might try to get a second line, and I'm developing this now so that we improve production and efficiency. So I'm going to do a second line of infantry equipment prior to 1914, which was not something that I did in the previous playthrough that I did. But I am going to try to set up a southern front here, and I'm not going to worry too much. I have a Danish front, and I'm giving a D for Danish. I'm actually not going to worry about this front as much as I was planning on, and I'm not going to worry about Denmark at all until later. You can't really engage Denmark until you've done a few things here. Looking in the national front, Denmark, if you're going to get involved in Denmark, force Denmark to take a position, you have to do this after the Schlieffen Plan, which is June 15th, and I don't want to do the Schlieffen plan, period. Well, I could do the Schlieffen plan, actually. Never mind. That's not what I don't want to do. What I don't want to do, obviously, is the Zimmerman telegram. That's something that would be a disaster. Wait until we've at least defeated the Allies or really put a number, knocked out Italy at least. Maybe have another front against France, like a southern front against France, before I try the Zimmerman telegram. But I do like what happens. What's the option after the Zimmerman telegram to get Sweden into the front, to the Central Powers? Because that could open up, give us a beachhead into the Balkans. Not the Balkans, Scandinavia. Again, force Denmark to take a position. You know, he's invade Norway and get access to the North Sea, possibly invade Iceland and Denmark. Then get into the Atlantic and maybe get some fleets past the British into the African colonies and everything, and then reestablish the colonial empire. I am going to try to focus a lot more on Africa. I did not do that in my original playthrough, but like I said, later on in Bismarck's career, he does understand the importance of colonies. But I'm not going to worry so much about the colonies out here. I actually want to get these guys out of here. And let's actually send this fleet. I have islands somewhere. I thought I had islands. I could send... There we go. Yeah, these are my islands. This is Palau, right? Yes. And I might just send my one infantry division here to Palau as well. I'm assuming I'm going to lose these islands, especially if Japan joins the war. But I wouldn't mind putting them in a position where I can get them to Africa and have some sort of influence here. The goal is to sort of, and I should be playing this as we go through and discussing all this strategy, but the goal is to have sort of control East Africa if I can. I'm not going to worry about West Africa and the Sahara, although the move here that I'm doing, the focus here, the anti-British focus policy that I'm working on, is designed to possibly intervene in North Africa to an extent. We'll read this here. While the Anglo-German friendship was nice while it lasted, Germany and the United Kingdom have come to bear with each other in recent years. It seems like this won't be reversed anytime soon, acknowledging that a rivalry outright will open up some options to circumvent them diplomatically. Okay, so that's cool. I was trying to see if I could, originally, see if I could keep England out of the war by a non-Belgium intervention policy, and that's part of Bismarck's, advice, not to invade Belgium, to respect its neutrality, to keep British out of the war. But I think the British have already gone down this inevitable war route, as most of the Entente powers have. Consolidate Entente, yeah, they've gone down that route. Prepare for war would be next. What are they doing right now, actually? Infrastructure effort. So it's inevitable, I guess. So the anti-British policy, which I don't think had too much of an effect, just had increased negative opinion, which there already was pretty negative opinion. British opinion of Germany. Actually, it was pretty good. Oh, I'd been improving diplomatic relations. This is gonna... Diplomatic relations change plus 40. It's gonna probably take a big... How did that happen? It's gonna take a big drop, probably, as soon as the day goes by here. So, our option is... We're gonna try to intervene in North Africa if we can. I didn't get to this in the playthrough, so this is a different maneuver, but the Agadir crisis has to do with Morocco, with rebels organizing in Morocco, and just enough German interest in the region to proclaim them relevant. We can support their insurrection against the French government and try to seize Morocco for ourselves. This will be interesting. I wonder if this will bring me into war with France. I don't want to do that. While that goal in itself is unlikely, we can, if nothing else, shake down France for more reasonable territory if we grill them enough though this may draw the UK even closer to them. The UK is being drawn close to them. We go ahead and go with the Agadir crisis, see if we can maybe gain something out of it and weaken the colonial powers. There are certain colonial national focuses that you can foci that you can have as Germany. And that includes, where are you? Machu Picchu uncovered. Okay, okay. I don't think it has any influence. It's just a historical thing. Peruvian government is gleefully prepared. Influx of easily taxed tourists. I wonder if that actually impacts Peru at all. The one approach you can do... here it is. Restructure Joyce Astafrica. I don't know if I said that right at all. I should stop pronouncing things. Airbase and infrastructure to an African colony, and this one actually gives you, I think, 6 divisions in Africa. I probably mentioned that before. But those are the approaches I'm doing. How are we doing construction-wise? We need more construction. And I had about 90 civilian factories in the game. So let's go ahead and try to do some more. In my playthrough I had 90 civilian factories. I'm going to try to get a couple more civilian factories. But I should also try for... I don't really have a lot of factories available here. I should also try to get some military factories as well. Alright, I'll put a civilian factory there. Military factory down here. I don't want to put too many things too close to the border. Although it's probably not a big deal. I could probably put a ton of industrial power here, especially since we're not going to be getting involved in Belgium. And this is going to be the front. 3 armies held this front pretty well. I have 2 armies there right now, one with 8. We've got to get more divisions there. Of course, I have divisions around here that could easily or quickly move into position. They're all pretty weak, though. And, by the way, I also wanted to change this division. So let's see here. I feel like I have a lot to say about this game. This division... No. Alright, no. Wait a minute, go back. So this division is the weaker... No, this is the stronger one. Okay. We've got Recon Company and Engineers. So I'm going to make these my typical core garrison division template is, or icon is this. And then I found a nice one that resembles that down here. And that way I know which ones are garrison divisions and which ones are not. So the cross is basically saying, no, you shall not pass. You shall not pass. We take it from Lord of the Rings there. I don't know, that's just my take on it, sorry. Garrison divisions, ideally for defense. This one's weaker because it doesn't have any support companies. But one thing we definitely need to do is expand our stronger division. But of course we need more army experience for that. But we're getting it because of this guy right here. Daily army experience, 0.50. And we are gaining more political power, so we could probably soon, less than 15 days, probably 10 days-ish, we should get a material designer, which I guess I'll go with artillery first. I don't know. I don't think I need to. I don't know. I'll come back to that. Anyways, I also did change the color of this division so I could see some distinction between the divisions here. It looks like a lot of garrisons in this army. Between the armies, sorry. Army 1 and Army 7, which are my 1st and 7th armies, are going to be the armies guarding the Russian or French front. And on the Russian Eastern Front, we've got the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd armies. Danish army is the 5th, and the German theater, our training army, which we can move these guys out of at this point. And let's put 1 on the Western Front, and 1 or 2 on the Eastern Front. Oh my god, look at this. This is such a weak army. Wow. Well, this army is just going to do a feint, so we don't really want... This is sort of a feint maneuver. Feint maneuver. It's not really the main thrust. The main thrust, we want these 2 armies to be much stronger. The 23rd which has more cavalry and mobility, which is good. It's got some better defensive divisions too. And then this one has more mobility. We should put more mobility here. I only have cavalry. I don't have any armor divisions yet. So, oh, here we go. We can modify our government. Let's go ahead and aha! Wow, that happened much quicker than I thought. Okay, I'm gonna modify my government real quick first. No, I can't. I gotta look at this crisis and see what's going on here. What is? I did not have this, so I don't know what this is. Agadir crisis. The Agadir crisis, also called the Second Moroccan crisis. That actually sounds more familiar to me. Was the international tension sparked by the deployment of the German gunboat Panther to the Moroccan port of Agadir on July 1st or July 29th, 1911. A rebellion broke out in Morocco against the Sultan by early 1911. The Sultan was besieged by early April 1911. Those dates don't really make sense. The Sultan was besieged in his palace in Fez, and the French prepared to send troops to help put down the rebellion under the pretext of protecting European lives and property. The French dispatched a flying column at the end of April of 1911. On June 5th, 1911, the Spanish occupied La Roche, and I'm not going to pronounce it. On July 1st, 1911, German gunboat Panther arrived in the port. Okay, this makes more sense now. There was an immediate reaction from the French and British. Franco-German negotiations initiated on July 9th, 1911 towards the Treaty of Fez led to a convention under which German acceptance of France's positions in Morocco in return for territory in the French Equatorial African colony of the Middle Congo. Alright, so this increases world tension. That's good. I didn't realize it would increase world tension. That's cool, because we need world tension to get up to like 15 or 35 before we can intervene in anything. So that works in our favor. Removes national spirit neutral foreign policy for the Austro-Hungarians, which is also a good thing. Beautiful. That was perfect. And then we boiled world tensions a little bit. I don't know what's going down here in Morocco. Let's just... I gotta do a national focus. We can't prepare for war until we get anti-Serbian policy. We're not there yet. What I want to do next... Doctrine would help. Infrastructure is also important because we get to construction and armament factories. Or a surplus of political power. 120. What's more important? I don't need technology because I'm sort of ahead with that as it is. I don't think I need infrastructure right away. Political power will probably have more of an impact early on. Let's do that. And speaking of which, we're going to go ahead and get a artillery designer. Tank designer, ship designer, limited exports, conscription, partial mobilization. Let's see here. Early mobilization, construction. No, we want to keep it at partial. Partial's good. Consumer factories is at 20%. A war economy would be good. But world tension has to be more than 15%. Again, we need that world tension to go up. So we're keeping it at partial mobilization, that's for sure. Limited exports, I like to keep it here. Research time improved. Factory output improved. Export focus. Give us more output in the factories and construction speed and more research time. I don't think I need it though. We'll stay here. Let's go ahead and get the artillery designer. I don't even know if I need it right away. I'm going to wait until it's time for a new technology to decide on that. And so back to the training division here. We're going to create a new army. Okay, I'm going to pause this. Agadir crisis provoked by increasing power of France over the state. Moroccan citizens have begun a rebellion against the Sultan. As the French are preparing to lift the siege of the palace, the Germans have sent the Panther to the porch in support of the rebels, claiming to be protecting German mercantile interests. Presuming that in the event of rebel failure, Morocco will pass to direct control by France. Nothing is done in this situation. War could break out in Europe. If nothing is done in this situation, war could break out in Europe. Tension's growing. Do we have anything down here? Morocco. They're a puppet state. I don't see anything happening. And diplomacy status hasn't changed at all here. So nothing I can do really. So let's go ahead and try to set up a southern front then. We're going to create a new army. I will need a new general. I like attack. I like fortress buster. And it's a southern front, so we're going to change the color and the insignia. It's Italian, so we already got spades. Clovers would be Irish, you would think. I don't know what to put down here. Shouldn't matter that much. Fixating over the insignia should not be that much of a matter. Let's make it yellow. Okay, the yellow star, which will open up a new theater, and we will call it the Italian front. That's really giving it away there, isn't it? The Italian front. We're coming after you, Italy. Whoa! That's Italian. I did it again. Okay, the Italian front right there. And I guess I'll create a fallback line. I should just... Fallback line. It's too much for one guy right now. What the heck is all this? That's just a mess. Get rid of that. Right now, we're just going to get a fallback line right here. Yeah, that's good. And we'll get him in position. And we'll begin adding to that army. As time goes on, new division added to the 6th Army Training Division. These guys are all well trained. Okay, deployment and the Agadir crisis is going to be it for this episode. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed and you'd like to see more. Likes would help, and comments down below are always welcome. And if you really want to support the channel, become one of my Patreon supporters in the link down below. I would be eternally grateful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.